Is the Book of Mormon an historical account of the lost tribes of Israel in America? Promo 1. Let's change the tone together. Hello, my name is Kevin Warren, and I'm a theologian trained in exegesis, Semitic and Hellenic ancient languages, Spanish, and English. I'm also an experienced world traveler with significant experience studying and living in collective cultures like those in the Bible and the Book of Mormon. One of my favorite interests is history. Specifically, I love church, world, and American history. History is my lifelong passion. In fact, most days I wish I had pursued a career in archaeology. If you are a Mormon who is tired of people who grab a few talking points and decide they're trained apologists on Joseph Smith or the Book of Mormon, or if you are a Christian who would love to find solid evidence Jesus existed and was divine, or even if you were just someone who has had a couple of LDS missionary visits and wants to look into the Book of Mormon independent of missionaries, I hope you find my new series on the Book of Mormon as history fairly presented and valuable. In fact, as we continue through this series, I want to become someone you consider open to your input and voice. You see, I have plenty of reasons to want to find evidence Jesus preached in America after his resurrection. I'd love to have convincing reason to connect Israelis to America. I list some of my reasons in episode 2A and provide more detail on many of them in episode 3. Both episodes are already recorded and available. If you are a Book of Mormon believer already, I'm going to give you a lot of incentive to be involved because together, I think we can make this a more engaging, revealing, and effective project. I don't like the way that Trinitarian Christians and Mormons engage each other, and I hope to be the kind of moderator that helps improve that. I am sure you know what your book claims far more than I do. I'm sure that that will remain true for years. Frankly, I need you to help keep my biases in check. I also hope you benefit from my experience as a Bible scholar, cultural observer, and amateur historian when it comes to grounding your own biases. I think we need to admit that we all have biases. It's hard to learn and grow when we do not start there. If nothing else, if we are nice to each other, maybe we can both grow in our ability to support our own beliefs without being hostile toward each other or defensive. I know I could use help there. The truth is, on the topic of general Book of Mormon historicity, I want Mormons to be right. As a Christian Zionist, I'd love to help you provide compelling evidence of that. I'd be ecstatic if certain aspects of the Book of Mormon proved to be true history. Even if we found that other claims did not yet have enough evidence. In fact, I would love to find that even if some claims turned out to be outright inaccurate historically. If you're a Mormon, I would hope you would as well. First, I'm sure you're aware that scholars widely affirm the Book of Mormon is not historical at all. Indeed, even your own scholars. Simon G. Southerton affirms in Losing a Lost Tribe, Native Americans, DNA, and the Mormon Church that, quote, anthropologists and archaeologists, including some Mormons and former Mormons, have discovered little to support the existence of Book of Mormon civilizations. That's not my opinion, and I'm not buying that yet. We're going to work together. Any of us who love history should know there are circumstances that often make evidence challenging to find, even for those that we know are true. In fact, I'll throw you a bone. One that you might throw back at me later, though I hope to be careful to avoid that by investigating fairly. Did you know that there was practically no archaeological evidence locating the city of David, the crown jewel and capital of the unified Kingdom of Israel, until 1867? Until then, everyone thought the palace was in the old city inside the fortified walls of Jerusalem. And did you know that until 2005, about all there was to support the city of David's existence was that same small excavation about the size of a hobbit hole? That's a quote, discovered way back in 1867. Nonetheless, once funding and the right talent had access, it took just weeks for archaeologists to find what soon became irrefutable, biblical backed evidence of the existence of the city of David, and that affirmed evidence that the Bible is historical. So you see, not finding something is not always a reason to say it doesn't exist or the story never happened. You have to look at why you may not be finding it. What have you found in similar situations with similar obstacles before? In the case of the city of David dig, the issue was a politically motivated bias based on finding anything affirming Jewish rights to the Temple Mount. That bias was enforced by the fact that the land was controlled by a hostile culture. Since that first find, we have found a treasure trove of evidence, including a seal with the name of a scribe the Bible says tried to kill the prophet Jeremiah. And I admit special limitations preventing successful archaeological digs in the Americas, including legal restrictions on federal and tribal lands, racially motivated desecration of Native American lands before legislation protected it, undocumented profiteering by treasure hunters, see the Dead Sea Scroll history, historical replacement. And by that, I mean willful desecration of one historic religious record by placing a new one on top of it, as with the building of the Al Aqsa Mosque on the Temple Mount. In addition, I may uncover more obstacles and document them in later episodes. Suffice it to say that regarding any Book of Mormon claims that lack evidence, we will consider the example of the city of David and propose reasons it might be missing. We will categorize some things into a sort of we don't have evidence, but maybe we should soon category. Others might fall into a we really shouldn't expect to find that category. Still, others might be judged if you interpret the Book of Mormon this way, maybe it could have happened, but not if you mean it that way. I'm trying to be fair. I am also emphatically denying the Book of Mormon is without value unless it is historically true. Value is subjective. I certainly do not think every aspect of any work has to be verified as real history to affirm the source as historical. For example, I do not believe everything Josephus says about his time, but I judge his writings historically informative. If nothing else, at this point, I hope you see me as open minded and not on a search and destroy mission. This is not Sherman's March to the Sea with Mormons as the helpless South. I'm looking for your help because we do have interests that align. Not completely, of course, but at least naturally. I want to reflect the Book of Mormon rightly, and I fully admit it's not my area of expertise. If you are a believer in the book, I want to ask you what you think it says. If you like what I've said so far in this video, consider subscribing to my channel so that you get my live stream invites. If you're interested in finding truth, are as sincere as what I just represented mine to be, I look forward to working with you. Thanks for listening.